Cancer, welcome to your February 2019 general tarot reading. I am very sorry I did not do your reading last month. I got held up just doing a bunch of stuff and I didn't have the bandwidth to do the last two on my list, which I will never do again. I'll definitely will never drop the ball like that. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm doing you guys first for the month of February. We have 4 weeks. So my templates will be, the first reading is just a general reading, seeing where we are now, kind of like organizing the shit drawer section of the reading. And then the second part is broken up by week. So February has 4 weeks, like I said. And so then we'll do a couple cards there, gets clarifiers as we need them, and then wrap up with some Romance Angels cards, right? I am currently on my knees on the floor because I hurt my back. So if you see me fidgeting a lot, that is what is happening. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and then share. Okay, so one more. Okay, hope you guys have had a really good start to your 2019. Okay. We have the High Priestess of where we are mentally at this moment, Ace of Coins for where we are emotionally, Queen of Cups for where we are now, Page of Wands in our recent past, and then the Hanged Man in our near future. So Scorpio also got the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, so you may be connected to one. Their placements were a little bit different, except actually no, they were in the exact same place. The High Priestess was in where they are mentally, and then the Queen of Cups is where they are now. So because we came from the Page of Wands to the Queen of Cups, we may have come from a place where we were a little bit abrasive. You may have hurt some people's feelings, you may have burned some bridges. The Page of Wands is a younger energy that's like innocently arrogant. It's not always your fault, of course, and Cancer, it may not be natural for you to act in that energy, because you are a water sign, and so sometimes that energy can clash, but that's not always, needless to say, not everybody's like that, right? So I'm kind of getting like, this girl looks like she's very trigger happy, right? And so normally this is a good card, but because of the growth that you had from Page of Wands to Queen of Cups, I kind of see it as like there was a moment of forced reflection for you where you needed to grow, and then you did grow. I'm also seeing perhaps that there's a new opportunity that you took on recently and that you had to be in this place, the Page of Wands energy, and now you're very comfortably in the Queen of Wands energy, right? Like this is it's like a much more natural feeling. It's like when you move and then you're way more comfortable. Like it literally could be an actual like physical movement or a new environment perhaps, or like just anything that you're just way more comfortable, right? In their near future, we have the Hanged Man. So there was this change and then there was this growth. And now we feel stagnant. But this is a steady stagnation in the sense that sounds like a little bit redundant, but it's not like you're going to stop there. It just feels this way, but it may just be more delayed growth, right? But it's stable. You have the Ace of Coins where you are in your emotional state. You could have an earth sign. You could be focused on your money and relationships just are not the thing right now. Or there could be movement to the next level of your relationship. Perhaps you start talking about finances this month. You maybe move in together, get something together, anything along those lines. And then mentally where we are is the High Priestess. So you're taking a lot of time to have that reflection and potentially the reason why you grew from the Page of Wands to the Queen of Cups energy. Let's draw some clarifiers. You may have been a little bit scattered towards the end of January, because now you're looking to be a little bit more solid in your movements forward. And reminder, like this is general. It doesn't, this part at least is general. It's not, focused on one thing or another. So I try to be as broad as possible. Keep looking at the High Priestess and the Page of Wands. What happened to get you there? There may be something you found out recently, and so you could be very happy to hear this news, but you're like in a position where you can't do anything about it yet. Like you have to maybe keep quiet. Like too soon to celebrate kind of thing. Okay, so we have the Fountain and the High Priestess. Five of Wands, clarifying the now. Queen of Swords, clarifying your heart. Two of Cups in the future. Okay. So in the Fountain Tarot, Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Separation. Oh. The Fountain Tarot has an extra card called the Fountain, and the overarching thing there is divine alignment. Like it is in absolute divine perfection, exact, where you are right now, what you're feeling, the outcome, the decision. It is in absolute perfection. So what I'm seeing with it being where you are mentally, combined with the High Priestess, because the Fountain is considered the also a major arcana in this deck, is that you understand your path and understand it was necessary to go through those hardships and those wins to get to where you are now, and you know that anything coming towards you moving forward is exactly what needs to come towards you for that fulfillment, for that happiness, and for you to be in your power and your purpose. Right? This is what's going on in your head. You are acknowledging this. You accept this to be true. And you've got the Ace of Coins and the Queen of Swords with where you are in the emotional placement of where you are or how you're feeling right now. So this could be based off of career and your professional growth, the path for your professional trajectory. And then since it's clarified with the Queen of Swords, you're taking a lot of time to approach this in a logical, clear, no BS way. You may have been the BS before. Like maybe you were not in a position that was best for your skills, but you stayed there. You know what I mean? So like it was just it just wasn't the best energy before. Starting something new, yes, but I'm not. Let me just clarify. I don't really like to clarify this. Okay. Okay. So I had two things going on here. Let me continue my thought and then add with a clarifier. So there was this younger energy, and you grow to the Queen of Cups. You want to do things from a more nurturing, more loving place, and there is conflict, the Five of Wands. There is a conflict of I want it to be this way, but I have to be this way, and just like kind of finding that balance internally. You may also be receiving conflict externally. In traditional Rider-Waite, I want to say that the Five of Wands is usually like young adults arguing or fighting, and it's something that, depending on how you see it, could be somewhat petty. So there may be petty arguments at this time, followed by the Hanged Man, the feeling of stagnation, but not to worry because you actually feel very fulfilled by this stagnation. So this is something that is doing well for you. Probably the slow growth. If we continue on the professional aspect of this reading that I'm picking up on, probably the slow growth is what's making you feel like you're not moving fast enough. Like it could almost even be a bad thing, but you don't see it that way. Probably someone from the outside looking is like, oh my gosh, like it's going to take you so long to get to where you want to go. But you're like, no, it's fine. I feel really good. I feel really good about this. Now, I decided to do a clarifier on the recent past, which was the Ace of Cups, and then we had the Page of Wands. So there may have been an argument that happened that carried over to what it is now, which would be something that's a little bit more escalated. So then there's this period of like the calm after the storm, and then you come back together. Is what I'm picking up on. So we have like just a lot. Like it's almost like it feels like a commotion, right? But it's necessary. This is like the dust that happens that was necessary for you to organize and move forward. So let's do how your month is going to go. Last month, I had a couple people reach out for the January readings that they started listening to it about mid-late January, and the video resonated a lot that way too. So try to, because of the style of my readings, try to do that, come back to it, and see if there's anything else that you end up picking up on. Just because of all of the things. There's a very busy reading, the one that we just did. So let's see what we have going on for the month of February. Interesting. Okay. So we have the Five of Wands as where you are mentally in the month of February. We have the Fool for the first week, so you may have started a new position. The first week is going to be dates. Today is the 9th, so it's the week that just passed. The 3rd to the 9th. We have the Three of Coins, week 2. We have the Devil, week 3. We have Two of Coins, week 4. And emotionally, we are the Queen of Coins. Okay. This is not a bad reading. Not a bad reading at all. Okay. So, we're just gonna break this down and I'll draw clarifiers as they come up. So, we have this conflict that you're experiencing right now. This may be internal. So we have this conflict that we're experiencing right now that is going to be taking up your mind almost the entire time throughout this month. This doesn't necessarily have to be like a fight. It could be this new beginning that you have that is causing change, causing a disruption to how you had things going, a routine perhaps. A new job could have new hours. A new job could have new things that are taxing for you, right? The previous position may have been emotionally taxing, could have just been a huge time consumption that it was taking from you. And that may change, right? Like suddenly you have all this extra time, or vice versa. Like you didn't have a job before that took up or required so much time from you, and now you do. Like it just takes a lot more to get there. So that it could be something like that. This could be you got into an argument with your significant other, and throughout the entire month of February, you may be thinking about it. You may be the one that's combative towards your partner, if that's the case. Okay? Because the Fool is the first card for the week, we're off to a really good start for the month of February. We're followed by the Three of Coins, so we're taking a lot of time to work on our craft, to learn it, and do well. The third week, we've got the Devil, so we could have some raunchy, sexy time that happens during this week, or you may suddenly feel that previous behaviors or patterns that you had in the past are no longer serving you, and they're not helping you balance what your life is like now. It's not helping you get to where you want to go, and so you're going to probably feel that, but I do think that you're going to be working through it because of we have this card here of conflict, so it's something that is present. It's not like you're ignoring it or trying to put it, in a place where you can come back to it later. And on the last week of February, we have the Two of Coins. So now we are exploring balance, right? If ever I draw this card for myself, the Two of Coins, it's because I'm trying to choose between my career and a personal relationship, right? Where we are emotionally is the Queen of Coins. So this is, she's so bomb. Look at that. She's chilling on that coin. So focused on the home, focus on refining, focus on nicer things. Maybe we got a really nice paycheck and we're going to be spending that on ourselves, focusing on the home, a new nice set's always nice to indulge on, things like that, right? I want to, let's see, Page of Wands, Five of Wands. We got the Page of Wands again, so, and then the Ace of Cups. So because these cards came out in the previous reading, I want to say that whatever happened in the recent past is actually very relevant this month. But there's a decision for you to want to break through it. We have the Fool and the Devil, which for me is like starting something new. This person is like jumping across cliffs, right? And it's like so pretty. It's blue and very delicate, you know? Like it's super pretty. And so we go from this in the middle of the month, or towards the end of the month, we've got the devil halfway through. So it's this feeling of like, okay, I started this new thing, but I'm not like fully enjoying it. I have this new relationship, and I have this thing that I'm carrying on from a previous one, or baggage or whatever. So like you're making a conscious decision to say, no, that's not going to define me anymore. I'm over it. I'm done. Like I'm breaking free of these patterns, right? These patterns that perhaps made you seem like you were this younger, arrogant individual. And so it's in like, and I'll put myself, you know, on the spot for it as an example. So I can be very quick to react sometimes. I have a Leo Mars and an Aries Venus and a Sag Moon. So I can be very fiery. And if something happens that I let disturb my peace, I am very quick to react, and suddenly a million and one things like I want to do a million and one things, and like I have to consciously like stop myself and like sit back and work through the thing that just happened, right? So like you could have, and it could be anything. It could be anything. Usually it's like things of unfairness that'll trigger me to get there. And so I can come off as someone that's very reactive and easily flustered. But if you like know me, then it's like she's literally never bothered. Like she's always calm and collected. Sometimes I don't really know if she feels anything. And this is feedback I have from friends that have been around for like 10 years, right? So it's like this doesn't necessarily have to be something that defines you. It could just be a pattern that you have, a behavioral thing, right? And so you're making a conscious effort to work on it so that you can feel better about your interactions with other people. And I'm getting that very strongly for the devil in week 3 of February. So let's draw some more here. We have very similar cards as Scorpio, and I shuffled these really good before I started the video. So money is definitely a thing. Money and home. So where we are emotionally is we have the Queen of Coins and then we have the Four of Wands clarifying that. So there may have been like that step that we talked about in the last reading, moving up or forward in a relationship. I don't know how you can really move up, but we've got the Four of Wands. It's celebration, it's home, it's marriage, commitment. So this looks really nice. You could also be committing to yourself if you're single. So let's go over this real quick. The Fool week 1 and then clarified by the Ten of Wands. So we have this new beginning that started. And then we also feel the burdens that come with it. So this I'm kind of picking up on as baggage, right? So I have a friend who started a new position recently, and the place where she was at before, they had a lot of tendencies to make you fear your job or losing your job. And so, you know, you were expected to work at a particular caliber and have specific performance that you needed to deliver on, right? So in her case, I can definitely see it being an issue if she's suddenly in an environment where it's very autonomous. And so it happened to me actually, where you go from such a drastic change in environment where you inherently will have these insecurities or these concerns happen when really they're not being triggered. It's just like, I'm so used to something so negative. I have discomfort in something that makes me very happy, but it's something that you can break through very easily once you accept, like, okay, that was then and this is now and this is much better for me. So that's a huge thing I'm picking up at the beginning of the month. Then we do this work week 1. Okay, so at this point, I'm filming on the 9th. This work is done. Week 2, we have the Three of Coins and we have the Seven of Coins. This is you being like, okay, nose to the grindstone. I'm working on this. I'm bettering myself. I have opportunity. You could be getting paid this month and it's a little bit bigger than you expected. You could be getting some money coming in. But this is you sowing the seeds so that when you're ready to harvest, you have significant return financially. Week 3, we have the Three of Swords and we have the Devil. So very much likely that there's a breakup during this time. You hook up with an ex. Let's be honest here, the devil can be sexual, can be one of those situations, especially with the Three of Swords. Or you could feel that this separation was the reason for, or the feeling of being stuck combined with the separation that has the Three of Swords, like that sad feeling, like you know that it's necessary, but you are feeling a little bit left out in the cold because of the changes that you need to make in order to balance out this new life that you are living in, right? This new wave of opportunity and growth for yourself, because you have everything good, like, you know, mentally you're in a good place, you know, financially you are in a good place, like this is true in your heart, but the way that you're seeing it for some reason, like, it doesn't really feel that way. So that's another reason why we might have the Five of Wands, the disconnect between mind and heart, where you know that it's good, but like you also you're not convinced, right? Because we have the Five of Coins where you feel left out in the cold. It could be that, you know, bills are tight. It could be that you spent a little bit of extra money week 3 or in the first week. It could also be in week 2, although I say you focus more on retaining the money and growing what you have already. And then with the 5 and the 2 together, for me, it's just like, you know, you just got to learn to juggle this stuff, you know. You got to learn to juggle all of these things that you have going on, the kids and the job and the, you know, friends and the wine Wednesdays and the trivia Tuesdays or whatever, you know, soccer practice, things like that, right? So, you know, that's kind of what I'm getting. The initial reading was really busy, and so was this one. It's not heavy. It's more like, you know, you're starting new, and it's always like, when you move into a new place, this happened to me in January. It's one of the reasons I had this delay. Like, you don't realize how much shit is there until you have to pack and unpack. I think I might have gotten rid of like 4 boxes when I was completely done moving. And it's like, I don't need any of this stuff. I don't know why I was carrying this around for like 2-3 years, right? But let's move on to romance real fast, because I don't think there were more messages for that reading. Okay. I definitely want to know what that new opportunity is that you guys ended up doing, and what that separation might be. Very curious. Let me check on my Cancer friend, make sure she's okay. Okay. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Okay. I'm going to spend some time here. So, I'm getting 2 people, or 2 stories, or it could just be one, and I'll explain. There is somebody that you are interested in. There's someone that you could be with already, marriage, single, long-time dating, just met, hooking up, whichever. And you really like them, and they may really like you. But before you get hung up on this person feeling so right, do not forget to acknowledge all the reasons why it might not be right. In the case of, you know, let's say it's in the beginning stages and, you know, they like to turn their phone upside down. If that's a problem for you and you choose not to communicate it, that, you know, could essentially be a red flag later down the line if they care to change that, right? Let's say that they, what other habits could be considered red flags? I don't know. But don't ignore those things that are going to bother you later down the line. This could honestly not even be something that's so big. They could just, like, you know, maybe feel a little bit detached and you ignore it because for whatever reason, you know, maybe it's just not the right time, or maybe it's early and they need some more time, or however the case. Don't ignore those things. At any given time in a relationship, you're going to be able to, you know, potentially predict the reasons you guys break up by those things in the beginning that rub you the wrong way. You just choose to ignore because you're in the honeymoon stage, right? Now, a soulmate, I may not be the best person to ask about this, but I guess I wasn't asked. Everybody that you meet is a direct mirror of yourself and are necessary, usually, for a lesson that you need to learn if they are impactful in your life. So at any given time, the person that you are meeting, dating, interested in is the one for you because they are necessary to a particular lesson or opportunity for growth. So you could be meeting someone that is pushing your boundaries and you're choosing to ignore them. And I just want you to know that if you don't listen to the signs now, you're going to be forced to see them later. So just be very careful that you're not ignoring these red flags that you are seeing, just choosing not to acknowledge. And I know that you love this person. I know it. I can feel it. But don't ignore them. There's maybe something that comes up in the month of February where you may be forced to think like, I don't know if this is something that I want to do. Anything can be addressed through communication, and then from there you can decide instead of, assuming that they're going to do something and then they end up not doing. So definitely make sure to do that if it's something that you want to continue, but they are not really making you happy at that time. So I would love to know what ends up happening for you this month in February, Cancer. So definitely let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks.